Hey everybody, this is Michael from Replica Airguns with another tabletop video review. Today we're looking at two airsoft rifles that are very comparable. They're just two different versions or series, but they're kind of the same model. As you can see, they look a lot alike, and we'll go over a little bit of the differences and similarities. I have made another video introducing the full Specna arms line where I do go over a lot of these same differences and similarities. So watch that video if you want to see me basically show off a ton of guns. I think there was like close to 12 or 14 guns I showed off. Took a little while to get through them. But today we're going to focus on the Specna Arms Rock River Arm license, the SA-C10 and the SA-E10. So the C10 is the core and the E10 is the edge. And again, I did talk about that and I will talk about it some more. What are the differences? What are the similarities as well? So these guns are available in our Canada Replica Airgun store. There is some limited stock for Specna Arms products in our US store, but we are going full steam ahead with this product line in our Canada store, and we're doing our best to keep these guns in stock and to keep the product line flowing. Again, watch my introduction video for the Specna Arms product line. It's a long video, but it does go into a lot of detail and does show off a lot of the different versions or styles of these guns as well. Now, there's not going to be any shooting in this video. I will follow this up with a shooting video for these two guns, shooting head to head. They should pretty much perform very similarly using similar batteries and whatnot, but we'll find out when I do that shooting test for you guys. All right, let's go over to the specifications really quickly, and there will be a few little differences that we'll talk about between the two. Both of these guns are made by Specna Arms, which I believe is a Polish-based company. These particular versions were made in China, or the People's Republic of China. They're both Rock River Armed licensed. Now in my last video, I think I switched that around and said River Rock Arms licensed. My mistake. We have a casino locally here called the River Rock, and so I probably just switched that around because I'm so used to saying River Rock. Not that I go there that much, but I have been there a few times, so it's kind of in my mind. So it is Rock River Arms, not River Rock Arms. As you can see, these guns are based on the popular AR M16 platform. They both shoot in semi and full auto, which is selectable, of course. They have a single action only trigger, which is electronically controlled. They shoot 6mm plastic airsoft BBs, and they both have mid-cap magazines that hold roughly around 120 rounds. Any of the plastic you see on these guns is going to be fiberglass reinforced, but there is also metal, and that metal will be dependent on which version you get, and I'll get into that a little bit more when we talk about these guns and I show you them around. Now the C10, so the core version, is 4.9 pounds or 2.2 kilograms. The E10, or the Edge series, is 5.1 pounds or 2.3 kilograms, so slightly heavier because it has more metal. The total length is going to be 21.7 to 25.2 inches. That depends on how far the buttstock is pulled out, and that works out to 550 to 640 millimeters. The inner barrel is 6.7 inches or 170 millimeters, and it is a 6.03 millimeter tight bore barrel. It is non-rifled, of course. This gun shoots between 375 and 390 FPS, depending on what type of ammo you use. That is using the heavier spring. If you're using the M90 spring, it will shoot a little slower. Both of these guns have pop-up plastic sights that are adjustable for windage and elevation, and they have your standard AR-styled modern adjustable rear stock. You're going to find metal handguards on both of these guns where you have rail accessory mounting points. Of course, there's that top long rail. You can mount accessories on there as well if you want to put a red dot or optical sight of some sort. They also have a metal charging handle that gives you access to the adjustable rotary hop-up. You will have to hold that back when you adjust the hop-up. Another interesting thing to note is both of these charging handles have this neat little safety here that you have to pull at the same time that you pull the handle. Now, as I mentioned before, they do come with two springs. I might as well show you that right now. So you have this spring here. It's the M90 spring. This spring will be for if you want to maybe do some indoor shooting and you want to lower the FPS a little bit down to maybe closer to 310 or around 300. And another great feature for the Specna Arms product line is they have the ESA, or quick spring change system, that allows the spring to be changed without the need to disassemble the gun. All you need is a long Phillips screwdriver which removes the buffer tube, that then gives you access to the spring where you can remove the spring again using that Phillips screwdriver and just swap it out for the different spring or whatever spring you want to use for that particular game you're playing. Now, there are some differences between the two, so let's get into that. We'll talk about the sort of upgrades that you're going to find with the Edge series, the E10 series. Now, just so you know, this is the Edge here. This is the core version, so this is the C10, this is the E10. Other than that, they're really hard to kind of tell. You can kind of tell by the way that they're marked here. So you have laser engraved, and it's actually deep laser engraved markings here, so you got your licensing like that. And then here you just kind of have them etched, or I guess it would almost like be like painted on to the frame. They're not in the frame at all or in the receiver at all. Here they are, they're actually right into the receiver. Now the E10 does come with 2 of these mid-cap magazines. Let's take a quick look at them now. You can see that you've got the Specna arms right in there. That's Specna arms written in there. It's kind of cool. That's their, well, not really written Specna arms, but that's their logo right there. Right in the plastic, which gives it a textured grip. Right, these are mid-cap, again, magazines. They are plastic. Probably the same polymer, fiberglass reinforced plastic. Again, the E10 does have a metal receiver. It is aluminum. It also has a metal buffer tube, whereas the core version, the C10, has a plastic buffer tube and a plastic receiver top and bottom. So aluminum metal receiver, aluminum, I believe, buffer tube, plastic. The front rails here, the rail setup is going to be the same material on both. So it's metal. Basically these flash hiders or whatever you want to call them, they're not really suppressors. They're going to be metal as well. We'll just go over the metal parts. You've got your ring attachment here on the Edge series. That is another, I didn't actually put it in my notes, but you do have tie-in points here if you want to mount it. So you got mounting tie-in points on the Edge series, which you don't have on the Core series. So that's another little bonus. The sights are going to be plastic, but they are both quick release pop-up sights. Pretty much the same buttstocks, pretty much the same pistol grips, same magazines. A lot of the components on these guns are going to be the same. You will get the Gate X ASR MOSFET system, and I'll kind of show you that too when I put the battery on this gun. So you do have the MOSFET system on the Edge series, the E10 version. The E10 also is scratch and weather resistant with a nano coating that they use, and the E10 also has the new Orion gearbox with reinforced shell and internals versus the C10, which has the version 2 metal gearbox. It's also upgradable as well and has a lot of metal parts. Not a bad gearbox, but not as good as the Orion, of course. The E10 also comes with a removable foregrip, and this is a really nice foregrip. See if you can see it here. So you even have this little, see if you can get in here, little area here, whatever you want to put in there, maybe a tool or something. It's like a little rubber guy that goes in there. Okay, kind of nice. So you put that on the front area here if you want. I'm not sure if you need it, but it's kind of a nice little add-on. And again, the Edge E10 has the Rock River Arms licensing deep engraved right into the receiver, which is a nice touch. All right, let's take a quick look around. We'll start with the Edge, the E10, just so you can see. Mainly I've talked about all the different components and parts and stuff. I just want you to get a good look at them, okay? So you have your adjustable selector switch, trigger, metal receiver, aluminum metal receiver. I believe this is aluminum as well, okay? Or your rail system. Now you do have this pop-up. It's a little, it's really firm. This is a really high quality. Everything's nice and tight and firm. You do have the adjustable rear sight, okay, for windage. And then you have this top notch that'll raise the barrel up for longer shooting. The peep sight for close quarter stuff. The front sight is adjustable up and down just to adjust elevation a little bit. So you can get in there. Okay, you can see you can rotate it, move it up and down. Very tight. It's hard to do this with one hand, but if you want to pop them down, you got to kind of move that back, put them in there, right? So we'll do that for now. You do have this sort of flash hider slash suppressor, not really a suppressor, you know, muzzle brake kind of thing. Okay, adjustable rear stock, typical AR, modern AR stock. We'll pop that off right now. Okay, so here's the MOSFET system on this version. The other one doesn't have the MOSFET system. There we go. Okay. Let's put a battery on here real quick. All right, they come with this little adapter. I forgot to pull it out of the box. And this adapter allows you to connect this system, so this connection system, to a standard setup like this, okay? So you're gonna need that. If you don't have it, you'll need it. They generally should come with it. If not, let us know. So now we have, okay, nice. Of course, you could use different battery types. We have a 7.4 volt here. A little slower, a little less voltage. You get the idea. All right, let's take a look at the other side. So you have this hologram here, which is a nice touch. There's your magazine release, of course, right? And then there's your dust cover, which will open up whenever you pull the charging handle back, of course. Now you will have to hold it back to gain access to the hop-up. It is rotary style, pretty easy. Just got to hold it back and you can make adjustments really easily. Okay. Nice rubber butt plate there on the butt stock. Okay. Part number. No orange tips. Really nice. Again, there's that charging handle. Okay. Now I'm not going to show you the box. I will show you the manual really quickly because I haven't shown you that. Right. Now it's neat that it does come with this little information sheet. They've tested this particular one out. This is for the E1, E series, the E10 quality certificate that's included. Got a little sticker package there. There wasn't really much specifications or anything in here, but you do have your typical warning instruction, warning information. And then you have the weapon system, all the different parts, right? This shows you how to get at the spring. So if you want to change your spring out, if you want to access different parts, the batteries and things like that, you can do it. Okay. Adjustable stock battery compartment. All right. Different information there. All right, so at this point, we're going to go over some of the pros and the cons. They're both super affordable, yet very high quality products for what you pay. And you do have the two options. You got the Core Series, which is the more cost-effective version. It's usually about $100 less, but it's still in that mid 200 price point. The E Series, the Edge Series is going to be like in the mid 300s to high 300s, but you get a lot for what you're paying for. That little extra bit of money, that $100 might seem like a lot, but you're getting a lot of extra stuff with it. No matter which version you pick, they're going to have quality components throughout. Specna Arms really didn't skimp on anything that was necessary to the performance or quality of either of these guns. I like the ESA quick spring change system. It makes spring changes quicker and easier. Something you could do quickly between games if you're playing different types of games and you want different velocities for close quarters versus outdoor shooting. And again, it comes with both springs for indoor and outdoor shooting, so that's a nice feature. And you're going to find that the plastic parts are all fiberglass reinforced, making them very durable. So durability is just a really big factor in both of these guns. And I like the quick release, fully adjustable pop-up front and back sights. Now you're going to find no orange tips on any of these guns here in Canada. That's always a nice touch. And even though both of these guns are PDWs, they have lots of rail mounting options for such short rifles. I like that they have metal gearboxes with metal gears and mostly all metal parts inside, no matter which one you get. Of course, you're going to get that Orion gearbox, which is even higher quality on the Edge series. I also like that you have easy access to the motor for any possible troubleshooting you may need to do. Maybe in the field, at least you can get to it pretty quick and easy. I didn't really show you, but you basically just pop this guy open here. It's a little tough, but you pop this open and you have access, super easy access to the motor, and you can kind of get at the wiring a little bit and do some troubleshooting if you need to. All right, let's talk a few cons. This is really nitpicky stuff. There's not much to really negatively say about these guns, but they do have the plastic pop-up sights. It would have been nice if they were metal. You're probably going to be just fine with the plastic ones since they are fiberglass reinforced. They seem really firm and high quality either way. And you're also going to have to hold back that charging handle when you do access the hop-up port. It would be nice if the bolt cover here, or this little bolt cover, stayed back, but you can use two hands, one hand to hold the bolt back and one hand to adjust the hop-up. All right, stay tuned for my field test shooting video for both these guns. I'm going to shoot them side by side, head to head. They should perform very similarly. At least I'm expecting them to. We'll find out when I do that. So stay posted for that video. Again, if you're interested in buying either one of these guns, you can follow the link in the description, or if you're on the website, you can check out the links in the website there. We'll put a link to the full Specna Arms lineup that we have over on our Replica Airguns website. You can pick the different models, choose whatever you want based on your price point and needs. And again, I'll put a link to the website so you can read my full written review along with some additional photos. I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you're interested in other products, check out our Canada and US online stores over at replicaairguns.ca and replicaairguns.us. All right, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next time, take care.